Country Cup, is it?
Yeah, it's not. I
That's
mean,
what
technically, I know how to get it to be allowed.
Oh, I'm getting
Oh,
something
laptop
on
CPUs.
YouTube now. It says live. Hey!
That it does.
Stuff
Never
is
actually,
working,
it's
and
only
I'm not
banned
dropping
by the
any
socket.
frames currently, so...
Oh, nice.
Tell me
Hey,
if
That stream
it...
looks smooth.
Yeah, so tell me how it's for you. It's now 1080p 30 FPS with lower bitrate than what YouTube wants.
Yeah, no, it's way smoother.
Okay.
I'm not seeing any drop frames, and it's a lot clearer.
Yeah, also
Yeah,
speaking of,
it's smooth.
So, it does still run. The score is what it should be, and we are max at 43 degrees, so that's about 20 degrees better than the stock air cooler, which I guess is nice. And I suppose the next part is just go 1.2 volts and see what it does.
Yeah.
So I really need to pay you to ship me this stuff.
Oh yeah, right.
You said you have a box now, right?
I do have a box, yeah. Actually, I think it's the
Sweet.
same box that A6 sent the radiators in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it might be that one.
Can you get me a quote?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at it.
Sweet, appreciate it. It's been like a year now that all that stuff's been at your house.
Yeah, and I still have
so bad.
the Aries on my shelf, and I look at it feeling bad every time I see it. Just like I should really send that.
I mean, I'm not stressed about it, and you're more than welcome to run any of that stuff.
Too bad the Aries is broken. Like I tried many things, but like the PEX, what's the name? The PLX chip's probably dead.
How about this? Would you be interested in a possibly repairable 1070 Katana?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I already have two 1070s. If that one can't hurt.
So, the catch with this one is that it sat on my shelf and it no longer works, and it was working before.
Yeah, that.
I've repaired it before because it had corrosion damage in the past.
Yeah, it's the one where the shunt fell off, right?
It crumbled off. It was that corroded. That was the one where I literally was able to take the inductor and turn it to dust between my fingers.
Yeah.
But I've repaired it. It was working. It stopped working. I couldn't be asked to fix it, so I just bought another katana.
I mean,
because I was able to get one really cheap from China.
Yeah.
Like, the only catch with this new katana is that it's missing a phase. So I'm just
I
gonna
saw. It's just like, is that a 3-phase 1070?
Yes, it's
on dual
sad.
end fets as well. Like that V-core is just screaming, "Please kill me."
So yeah, I'm thinking I'm just going to pull a phase from the not working katana, transplant it over, and just send you a 3-phase katana.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is the problem with it? Does it like just not turn on, or does it like?
I think something's up with the 12, or I think something's wrong with the input where I've repaired it in the past. Because, like I said, that input inductor is stuff I've repaired. Because
could be that the solder just broke, and now there's no
probably
connection.
Because the fan no longer spins.
Oh.
So it seems to me like it's a 12-volt issue.
Yeah.
But it gets V-core just fine. So I'm thinking
it could be
even with it pins unplugged.
It could be that it's getting V-core off the PCIe.
Yeah, I was also thinking PCIe.
No power good from the fan, because why would you?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like I said, it's been repaired in the past.
It should, like, NVIDIA cards are usually designed to be able to power up from just PCIe. That's how they give you that, like, please plug in the power connectors screen.
Yeah.
But, like, stuff may be messed up, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Like, Like, my thinking is just like...
anything, if worse comes to worse, also the Katana PCB is not exclusive to the Katana.
Ooh.
Galax released a GTX 1070 Mini, as well as, I want to say it was PNY.
Oh god. I just realized I'm gonna have... I'm gonna have 3 Galax 1070s. Because the other 2 I have are 2. Just like a different one.
Yeah, they're the full-size 1070s.
Yeah, they're the 5-phase one.
Well, you know that the Galax 1070 Katanas used bend cores.
Really?
So if you... Yeah, they got the same cores as the Hoffs, because they were bent to run lower power since they were going on a... they were bent to run cooler since they were going on a single-phase cooler.
Yeah.
Or single-slot cooler.
I'm surprised. Well, actually, like, we're running 100 millivolts above now, but 1.2 is not that much for a 560, at least I think.
That's fine.
No.
And the core is scaling just
1.2?
fine. Yeah.
How much?
Huh?
Is it just stream, or are you running LOD? Because
it is LOD.
It just looks like shit for me.
Yeah, it has LOD.
Everything looks blurry for me for some weird.
Yeah, that's the point. We make the screen blurry for 3%
no,
more
I mean
score.
like the GPU power stuff is blurry for me too. But
that too. Well, that shouldn't be.
For me, it's clear. The easiest way to see if LOD is ever running max
is the FPS counter.
Yeah, the FPS
the FPS counter
was great.
But like the whole stream was blurry for me because YouTube is still loading.
Oh yeah,
that's just a U issue. For
I
me,
mean, right now,
it's just a B issue.
Yeah, like YouTube
blurry.
says excellent connection, and OBS says 0% dropped frames. So
yeah, it was a me issue. It's like it slowly fixed itself. I can actually like see things.
Yeah,
I can actually see like GPU power and everything.
So I finally got that LTT screwdriver.
Oh, I can hear it. Just the rat shit going off. Yeah, I still have my my cheap half the screwdrivers I have, the guy where I did my internship just gave to me, and the other half is just stuff I bought at the local hardware store. Nice. I'm like super cheap when it comes to equipment. Even the multimeter I have was given to me by that guy.
Well, to be fair, I didn't pay for this LTT screwdriver.
Oh, did you get it at LTX?
Too, man.
I talked to Jake, and Jake was like, "Yeah, I'll send you one since you've given us several things for us to make videos on."
Oh, sure, yeah. I also found out when I was on Thingiverse just trying to find demo prints for my 3D printer when I was first using it, I found that someone made like a knockoff LTT screwdriver on Thingiverse, and you can just download the files and just make yourself one. I didn't try it, but like that's like one of the most downloaded things on there.
I wonder if it just takes like a Mega Pro.
Yeah. They even did the small screwdriver. Like, is that even out yet?
The stubby?
Yeah.
Out now.
That's out now, okay.
Isn't it just like the same
stubby? The stubby got released at LTX. They were pre-selling them.
Yeah.
But you can buy them on the normal store now, too.
How's the heat going? Like,
yeah. I gotta get myself an actual 3D LS going.
It's slightly warm. It is actually completely
my
fine.
Efficiency.
Yeah.
My efficiency earlier when I was testing my 560 was garbage.
So, I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
On the 560 OEMs, this is not related to the cheap-ass chips.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible to BIOS mod one to increase the clock limits as well as what voltages it runs?
Should work, yeah. It probably won't work with Fermi BIOS editor, so you're gonna have to do it with HexEdit probably, because Fermi BIOS editor just really hates everything that came out after the 570.
Well, the 560 OEM was before that.
Was it? I don't really know, because like every time I try something 560 with it, it says card not supported.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah. Fermi BIOS editor stopped development some point after the first couple cards came out, because apparently people kept leaking it, and the developer was just like, you know what, fuck you. Like similar to Test.
So wait, do you think the OEM VBIOS controls voltage? Because I know that there's no way to do software control.
Well, Well, it should have a vid at least in the BIOS.
Should have vid. Okay.
Like there should at
So
least
what
be like a
PCB560
I want this voltage under load setting in the BIOS. Whether the PWM controller adheres to that or ignores it is another thing, but the BIOS should have voltages programmed into it for
Okay,
like the
'cause I have
different
the
power saving
one-
stuff.
I had the 560 OEM here that I could pretty much just max all the sliders out and it just runs.
Huh. Because
but
the limits
it's
are
like,
so low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm wanting to BIOS edit that one so I can have increased limit.
Doesn't
And-
the I'm not sure. Does NVIDIA Inspector Unlock Max not work with it?
No, it still is limited to like 800.
Yeah,
Because in Inspector it's still limited to like 800 megahertz core. I forget what its memory is, but it only allows like plus 400 even in Inspector.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. It should be BIOS moddable. Like, one thing that I also want to know is when you have the card without any drivers, it shows more CUDA cores than when it does with the driver installed. So
Yeah.
I'm like, is it unlockable?
To my knowledge, yes. It should be.
Fun fact, my 560 here does it too. It shows 384 cores without the driver.
What about my other one that you have?
That one should do it too. I think they all do it.
Yeah,
It could
'cause mine
be
shows
that it's just a
384 as
basic
well.
debug, that just any 560 just has 384 programmed into it, even though they might not have it.
Well, no, because the 560 OEM, if you remember, is a GF110.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
a
those could
GF
even be unlockable to 480 cores, actually. If they're like reject 570s.
Yeah, that's what they are, if I remember right. They're reject 570 cores.
Yeah.
But I don't really need to unlock it all the way to that because I have a 560 Ti 448.
Right. I forgot those exist, despite it being like the first 560 I ever owned. Yeah, mine's broken
still-
though. Mine's like super dead. The BGA is just
Mine is
crumbled
still
by now.
mine's just a PCB because I last ran it on LN2 and I have yet to reassemble the card.
Oh right, you have that EVGA one that has like the full 6-phase, right?
Yeah, and it's delidded.
Yeah, mine was
ran
the MSI Power Edition one, which is like kind of like the card that I'm running now, pretty similar VRM. Slightly better than this one because it's a 110, but yeah.
Yeah, the 560 Ti 448 classified is pretty much just a full it's just a 580 cut
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, just a 580 minus 2 memory banks and some CUDA cores.
Yeah. Like it still has the full VRM and everything.
Yeah, that's like actually good. Like
Yeah, it's the
the
main reason why I ran it on LN2.
Yeah, like the reference 418 580 VRM is not a bad VRM. It's just a bad VRM because it's paired with that card.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Like they put that VRM on a 680 and it's fine.
It's
I
kind
don't
of
know
funny.
if It's normal on the retail cards, but on the 480 Core 512s, like every single dead card that Jiasheng had was all blown like VMEM. Like every single time it was.
I've had
it was the
VMEM
side
too.
for-
I've had one 480 where the VMEM died.
The only 480 reference card I have is my 480 Core 512.
I have like only non-special 480s, and they're all reference cards in various states of disrepair.
Let's see. I have the 480 Lightning. I have the 480 Core 512. I think those are the only two 480s I have. I have more 580s than 480s.
I wonder.
580s, I have like the Lightning.
Mhm.
I have the, I have like 2 of the socks.
Oh, yeah, fuck, I forgot I had a couple 580 socks too.
I have 2 580 socks. One of them the bad one, the other one the good one. Problem is
'cause
the
you did
good
that
one
video
shuts
comparing
down
the
for some
VRM.
reason, and I don't know why.
I have.
I remember for a while you thought you had the engineering sample one because they all say 580
Yeah,
ENG.
Because all of
When they
them in the
first
boot up screen in the VBIOS say like development version, not for public release, but they all say it. It's just...
Yeah. I remember because Communist Ferret here when he came to my meet that Gigabyte sponsored back in May that I hosted, he brought one and I was like, is that an engineering sample? And then we got to talking later and you were like, yeah, mine says that too.
Yeah.
Somebody probably just left it in.
No, it's like in all the VBIOSes. It's
all of
weird.
them?
Yeah,
Yeah, all of them. All of them report like ES.
Oh my god.
They just left it enabled by accident. Like the little splash screen that it shows before the BIOS loads. All of them just say engineering version, not for public release.
There was a I think 680 sock for sale in China for like $200. And then somebody bought it. Wasn't me.
For $200.
$200 someone else.
That's tragic.
200 USD, and then
well, you know, it's so rare.
So rare that 3 of them are on eBay right now.
I think there's one for like either another one for 200 or 250, and it has like High Cookie signature and a bunch of the other like Giga guys.
Okay, that's actually worth something.
Yeah, but like it's not like a good I don't think it's a good bid card or anything. I think it's just like some random 680 sock.
Max.
I crashed. Okay.
The stupid Yours Day thing in China jacked up Gigabyte board prices so much for me. Like I was looking through Ziondio and everything's like 20% more expensive now, I swear.
Oh shit.
So
you know what I should have done?
Exactly 50 megahertz from that voltage increase, which is actually quite good.
Yeah. You know what I should have done, Soyo? I just bought another 3080, or I just bought a 3080 Ti 20 gig from Hong Kong. And I should have had it sent to your house so that you could do a 3080 Ti 20 gig video before the one I lent to LTT gets published.
Wait, am I in safe mode? Oh god, I'm in safe mode. Or like semi-safe mode, because it's like not giving me clocks and full voltage anymore.
Yeah, MCR, honestly, I think you should resell that 11900K and I'd say keep the Apex.
Well, duh, I'm keeping the Apex. I want to retire the one that I beat the hell and back.
Keep it. I'd say don't retire that QS 11900K and just run it on like Chiller or like Peltier or something. Which like
no.
That should
plan is
like what, -20?
Yeah. Plan is it's gonna be my new daily.
Yeah. I was gonna say like if you're gonna bench 3D, like Raptor Laker, nothing at this point.
Yeah. Well. So my plan is, at this point, I'm probably going to try and cycle through a couple more. If I could get my hands on one more 11900K before next month or even December, I'm going to try that for the retail. But if I can't, after Country Cup, I'm just going to sell the 11900K that I currently have. Buy another one, whatever. And then the QS one that I have is just going to become my new daily CPU because I'd like to kind of get off this 9900K because my Z390 formula is like slowly starting to become a pain with RAM. I think it's right now, I've only got one stick of RAM in there.
Oh my god.
Is like one of the channels dying?
I think so. Like every couple months, my computer will be like, hard no, I am not posting, and I have to almost like drain my loop trying to troubleshoot it. And then, like, after a couple days, I'll swap, like, 6 different RAM kits through, cycling them all, and eventually one will just start working again for another couple months. And it's like...
That's
I
weird.
don't know why.
Average ASUS
Did we
board
just
behavior for me.
did we just gain no stability from 50 millivolts? So it crashed at 1.2 and it also crashed at 1.25.
I wonder if you hit voltage rollover.
Already?
How cold are you?
48.
Ambient.
Like that's colder than it was on the stock heatsink.
I think I was hitting 35C and I was on stock volts maxing out like 999 basically. Like the second I pushed 1G, it just crashed.
That
Well,
already,
That's a bad
that
I'm
or you've
pushing-
already hit the voltage.
I'm pushing
wall.
1100 right now, which like shouldn't be too hard on this card. Because it did 1090 at 1.2 volts and now at 1.25 volts and it doesn't do 1100 still.
What mem you got on that? Sammy or Hynix?
Sammy,
Or is there some?
it's
Try
EDI.
1.3 just to.
I
just
guess
for
I could.
shiggles,
I'm
but-
gonna run it at that voltage anyway.
Yeah, just try 1.3 just for shiggles, but then if it doesn't improve, you might have hit a voltage wall at your current ambient temperature.
That is like... That would be really bad. Okay, we go 1.3.
It definitely would not be ideal.
That would be very... And maybe... Maybe I'm gonna try the PEX rail under voltage trick.
That might work.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it working on 580s. And this is like kind of the same bit of weirdness where I'm like, maybe it's gonna help? Because it should be running more voltage than that. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Water is like 1.45. That's why I'm willing to go.
So I'm thinking
Yeah, it's the crashes.
that e-power that
That's like
oh
not
yeah, I
good.
still have the e-power at your house too.
Oh, the Hoff, yeah.
So
Was it?
I found one of the e-power 5s I lost at my house. I finally found it again.
Lost one? Oh my god.
You know what I think
Okay.
it might be? I think it might be memory clock because putting more voltage into the core is also gonna heat up the memory controller, and the card's not delidded yet.
Oh,
So that memory
yeah.
clock might just be too high. So I'm just gonna go 2400 and then see, because 2525 was like maxed out.
Was it
Yeah.
hard crashing, or were you getting artifacts before? it
Just hard
crashed?
crashing. it runs fine and then it
Okay,
doesn't.
it's probably. Yeah.
I mean, it's kinda, it can be both.
I've gotten thermal artifacts before, and like my.
Yeah, and the
I
Fermi
remember
is
that.
like, Fermi doesn't really have a rule for if you see this, it's that. It just, a lot of the time it just crashes. Just like that.
Oh,
I mean, we'll find out now. Oh, that's even worse.
You might
Insta
just
crash?
need to restart your system. Just
Yeah.
no, not
Oh,
reset the driver, restart the system so that
Yeah.
all the previous crashes are kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
did already restart it earlier when it crashed at 1.25. That might actually... It's probably the lid. It's probably the
Loading screen.
IHS. Like, I didn't
Go.
delete it because I
I'm
was
pop out
like...
the razor.
And like, I was like, I didn't delete it yet because I was like, I'm gonna sub-zero it soon anyway. And I can remove the IHS then. Because for now I don't want to deal with like just thermal paste everywhere. And it shouldn't affect it that much. And here we are.
Yeah.
So
My attempts running the 560 without the D-lid were worse than running the 780 Ti like at 1.4 volts.
Hmm.
So I have a question for y'all on
Yeah.
RMAs because I've never actually RMA'd anything.
No, I have RMA'd
I
RAM.
think I RMA'd a power supply through InWave. It just stopped working. I sent it to them. They're like, "Yep, I had to pay for shipping, so it wasn't ideal."
No, like if I was to RMA this 3090 Strix,
I mean, you're in the States, so the sticker won't work for them.
Yeah, but I'm also not the one who bought it.
You have the receipt?
Should be fine.
Yeah.
No.
If you've got oh.
Well, the person I got it from is in Canada.
Oh, it's
that might be a problem.
Oh, it's Aria's old
it-
3090.
Yeah.
I mean, worst case, you can RMA it and then have it shipped to Ari's house and then have it just shipped back to you.
Yeah.
RMA it in his name.
So, all it does is the card runs fine. It just runs at PCIe Gen 4 X2.
Oh, one of the lanes.
Off the board and lose a bunch of lanes.
You could try the... I saw this on Tech Cemetery. You can reverse the line assignment. So that instead of starting on the left side of the slot, it starts on the right side of the slot. Because then you would be able to run at least 8 lanes. Because you're gonna have either a third or fourth broken lane.
It doesn't always run just Gen 2. For some reason on my AMD Z490 board, it runs Gen 4, or Gen 3 times 4.
Huh.
But on any other, other than that AMD Z490, all I have modern is Intel.
Oh, now I'm like...
And on all my...
Now I'm like in proper save mode. It's completely died. Okay.
Yeah, when I say modern, I'm talking anything newer than like FX. So yeah, all other than that Z490, which is all prototype hardware.
Yeah.
All I have is Intel, and on all my Z590s and my X299 and my Z390 is pretty much the one that's not in my daily is pretty much dead, which is why I want that Z270 Apex. So I can run 9900K again.
I'm surprised you don't want an MOCF. Honestly. Like, you have a Z590 OCF.
Okay, so
I have a Z590 OCF,
I'm gonna have
and
to
I have a Z97.
Dial back the voltage
SOC.
now, because it did actually get worse with more voltage. So I guess we really are nearing like a rollover. Which is not good.
Yeah.
It's probably the IHS, like, because
it's either the IHS or you have a very, very leaky chip, which would be good for sub-ambient.
It is a
Check the ASIC
rather...
quality real
It is a
quick.
pretty low ASIC quality, so it is probably leaky. Like, it's better than 33%.
Yeah, so you probably are just going to see really, really good voltage or cold scaling.
Yeah,
But
I mean...
on ambient, it's just going to be utter garbage. You know that as well as I do.
I mean, so far the scaling has been decent.
Yeah.
Like, better than what you would see from, like, any 580. Like, 580 doing 1100 is pretty hard.
Yeah.
Okay, admittedly, this doesn't do 1100, but... yeah. No, I'm gonna play the game off. I'm gonna very slightly reduce the voltage to see if maybe now 1100 works. Because we know it doesn't work at 1.2, and it doesn't work at 1.25 either, but in between there, somewhere it might work. Because it's like enough voltage to be stable, but little enough to not like roll over. So I'm gonna play that game, and when we're done with that, I guess I see if the memory gains anything, if I put it to like 1.7. And then just see what kind of scores it gets. That was the plan for today. I kinda hoped it would like just keep scaling, but guess I should have deleted it. Also thinking if I run Sub-Zero tomorrow. Because once I'm done
I traded...
tomorrow I could do LN2 at the same time. Because my card's going to be ready tomorrow.
Wanna do that? Okay, that's...
So you're going to have to clean it and have to figure out how to do voltage control on a THL 8228G, I think it is, via feedback mode, because I don't have an EVC yet.
Wait, is CHL... What is it? Is CHL
8228G. It's the e-power is like
8228. That's like an AMD controller.
Yeah, it used to be an R9 280X from ASUS.
Oh, because it's E-powered, right.
Yeah.
No, because do you not have any other cards you can use, or they're just, like, really bad?
I mean, I do have, like, the normal WinForce from Gigabyte, but it's the Rev 1, so it's the crappy three-phase version.
The three-phase.
Then I might
you may as well
try to blow it up.
Yeah,
I just try to build it up.
I was thinking just like may as well run it and see when it blows up.
See, it's actually kind of like
See what I'm gonna do to mine.
The Twin Frozer blew up at 1.4 volts.
Really?
What?
Yeah, 1.4 volts.
Did yours
the only
have
card I've ever
the...
blown up was a 290X Lightning.
Oh yeah, because the core just like exploded.
Detonated.
Yeah.
I still don't understand how that happened because it wasn't overclocked when it happened.
It's
I was literally
probably just a physical defect in the core, where like just.
Well, see, I got it from AKM after he had run it on LN2.
Yeah,
and
I mean that's
I
gonna
had
make
run it on
worse.
LN2, and then it wasn't overclocked, and I was running it in Crossfire on. This was before I was even working for Signal RGB. This was back when it was Whirlwind Engine, and I was a beta tester for the software. And I was trying out Rust, and I was in the menu of Rust. And I guess the transients on the menu were so high, it just detonated the core.
What my theory is, remember all those 6800 XTs that also blew up their cores?
You moisture, right?
Yeah, because they had moisture in them. So like, they eventually tracked down all of those cards that blew up to like one reseller who stored them in like a warehouse that like had high air moisture, and it sort of seeped into the silicon. And then when the core heats up and does its thing, that water, that like little bit of moisture in the core expands and just kind of blows up the core. And
I wonder, that actually might have something because AKM lives in Hawaii.
Yeah, and then also just running it on LN2, it's just gonna like cause moisture to accumulate all around the card. That's I think why Bullseye's also exploded.
Well, mine had been run on LN2 months prior before it detonated, and I'd only run it for like 30 or 40 minutes. It wasn't a full session.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you heat stuff up after. Like whenever I run anything on dice or like even like chiller, if there's any like moisture.
I mean, it's really is like.
Well, like I said, this was months later, and it was just. Yeah, it's
passed 1100.
Okay.
My stupid game paid off.
Like half decent mem.
It needs exactly 1.23 volts, and then it runs 1100.
Yeah, so you did have negative voltage scaling.
Yeah, so it like rolls over pretty much exactly here. It's probably the IHS.
Voltage rollover on Fermi is something I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, like, which is why I'm going like, it's probably the IHS. Because like, that thermal paste is more than 10 years old by now, and I've seen some, some cores where like the paste doesn't even cover the entire die, and it might be one of those. So like,
is it? You're talking about like where the paste is in an X pattern, but there's like missing spots in the X.
Yeah, like I wish this had a hotspot sensor because it would probably be pretty awful.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. So I should.
That was the greatest thing that modern cards have is a hotspot sensor.
Yeah. Okay, let's pump the memory all the way back up, and I'm so close to 4,000. Come on, like.
Okay, so. Oh, yeah, this is one thing. This was one thing. I also kind of don't want to RMA the card because I'm afraid that if I RMA it, I'm not going to get it back.
They have to.
I'm not going to get... No. They might send me back a 3090, but I am afraid that they won't send me back my 3090.
What do you want?
Serial number.
Do you specifically want your 3090 though? Like, what's special about it?
Because Splave signed it, as well as Jake from Linus Tech Tips.
Oh.
Cool.
The PCB?
No, the backplate.
Just take the backplate
Just
off.
send it without the backplate then. Just be like, yeah, I'm not including the backplate because it's signed and I don't trust you people.
Knowing Asus,
but then, I was about to say, at that point, then they're like, well, we're not going to RMA it because it's not, the entire product isn't here. I can already see Asus
I mean,
pulling
you
that
could
shit.
probably,
Okay.
if you really want to, you could probably get like a replacement backplate.
Yeah, I
for
was gonna
$50
say, just go on eBay for, like, look for people that are selling the backplate because they're water cooling, and just take that one.
I mean, I have a heatsink for 3090 Strix.
Do you have the
I mean,
backplate?
I've got mine water blocked, so...
Hmm.
Do you have the backplate?
Yeah, it's the complete heatsink. I've got the 3090. I've got a Strix right here as well, my old one.
Oh, what the hell is that? What was that?
That's the green flashing. I've had that happen to me a lot of times.
It's still running.
Oh yeah, that
No,
happens
my-
to me like all the time. That's like
Wow.
Yeah.
That memory
does
is
that,
not
Like,
like-
want to build good thumbnails. Jesus.
Like, I can tell from the power it's still running, so like...
Oh, you're talking about that.
Yeah. No, I mean,
It has, like,
currently it
green
doesn't show
circles show up on
anything,
my
but like,
screen, dude.
it just did some really weird artifacting.
Yeah, I've seen artifacting like I have never seen before in the past couple days.
Yeah.
I still think the worst artifacting I've ever seen was the 290X. I don't know what it. I don't know what. I don't know what it is about Hawaiian cards artifacting, but they are so extra.
Oh, come
compared to
on!
every other card. Yeah. Oh, it's black.
12 points.
You
12
missed the part
points.
before it.
Oh, so yeah, I'm watching the YouTube stream still, and it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely like delayed by a whole minute.
Yeah, I put it on normal latency for quality. So it probably has like a minute or something.
3988. Oh,
Wait, what
So
board are you
close.
using?
Yeah,
Is that like Z68 or some shit? Like,
yeah, it's Z68. It's,
Wait, why
it's
you
the-
have better.
Huh?
You have better test bench boards.
I know. But the
Why are you
the
running
comp is limited
68?
to 4-core, 4th thread, 4.5 gigahertz, and I was just like,
Yeah,
well,
but
I
you
have the
can disable
2500K
cores.
right here.
Oh,
you can disable cores though.
I know, but I had this already set up.
That's fair.
Also, any
Take
day where I
the
don't
build
have to
droid
fight the
approach.
Apex is a
I'll-
good day.
I was
I
about
might
to say,
throw
why
like
aren't you
299
running
on
like?
my bench for it.
I was gonna ask why you weren't running your like 8700K.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, because Benchmate's being weird on this, and some people said it's probably because of Sandy, I might just be going to that one. It's just like, the Apex is great when it decides to work, and when it doesn't, you're not benching. So,
Wait, what's up with it? Is yours the Z390 Apex, or you running
no,
the
it's
270
a
Apex?
270. It's just like, you know, it's an Asus
The
board,
same
so...
style I bought
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, like, it works most of the time, but sometimes it just doesn't. And there's nothing to do about it other than just, like, let it sit for a day, and then it'll change its mind. It's just...
I found it weird. Mine also will do that. Like, my board's like, I'm not working. You pull the CPU out of the socket, put it back in the socket, and then it's like, I'm good. And it's like, I've cleared the CMOS. You've been unpowered for 3 days now. I could literally pull the board off my shelf, put it on there, plug it up. Won't work. Unplug it. Pull the CPU out of socket, put it back in socket. It works.
Yeah,
Don't know why that happens.
got no idea
Maybe
either.
maybe something wrong with the ILM.
It's not the ILM. No, it's like I can crash. Like the CPU will crash. It'll start boot looping, not working.
Oh, it's like that. It's not like you just like set it up and
No.
it's like, oh, it's not turning on.
No, it's like dark magic voodoo shit. Just
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Because
Asus.
like with the 1700 frames, if I tighten it down too much on like the Unify X doesn't really care. The Tacon cared a little bit, but like on the Aqua, it was like it freaked the fuck out if I tighten it too much.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this, screenshot.
so if you're asking me on for a 3D image, Max, the answer is I'm still running Forks, a modified version of Forks OS from 2021. Okay.
I tried WEG 4. I tried the WEG 4 ISO that was for Team Cup, and
I don't have the WEG BIOS, I don't have the WEG.
I know, but my efficiency was like crap still.
Hmm.
Like I wasn't
That sounds like copium from you.
It was the same. I tested it on Myleen's not bias, OS. It was like the fucking same. And I don't know. It was
Okay, I'm
weird.
gonna turn LLD off and do some CloudGate. Not
All
saving
right.
scores, just taking screenshots for now. I mean, tomorrow I'll run Sub-Zero and then I'll be saving scores.
Yeah, you should be doing pretty good, I think.
Efficiency-wise, it looks good. So on Firestrike,
Let me pull up my 3D
He's
marks.
first place at 45.80, and that's his best score so far. Because
Yeah.
L2 showing.
I was comparing efficiency when I first tested the card 2 days ago. In Firestrike, I'm beating Tag on efficiency, and in CloudGate, I'm slightly behind him. So that's
I see.
good.
I see. Ask over here has gone ahead and taken highest graphics score, but not for comp. So the day before comp started, on dice.
The thing is, that score wouldn't have been valid anyways because it still has hyperthreading on.
Yeah.
My
So let's
dog
see if CloudGate
is
runs at the same
getting
clocks,
old.
or if I need to downclock.
My dog is getting old, and he has the worst farts imaginable now. Like, clear a room out, make you gag kind of farts. And my dog will just go to sleep, and then he just doesn't hold them in anymore when he goes to sleep. It's so bad.
Just blasting the whole time, dude.
Yeah.
And he knows when he does it because he'll actually wake up. Like, I can tell when it happens. He wakes up and looks at me from my bed, and then I'm just like, you little...
This is
Yeah,
doing
I
like
don't know if I
100
really wanna
FPS,
deal-
that's not bad.
I don't know if I want to deal with having to BIOS mod for PCIe 2.0 for the 560.
And it
It's all
crashed.
GPU score for everything, right?
It's GPU score for
Yeah,
everything.
GPU score exclusive.
Yeah.
Holy
So CPU won't matter. So like, I don't think it's even worth my time wasting the time to go and BIOS mod it and all this shit.
I mean,
might just
like,
throw it on,
I'm running a
$299.
2500K here.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
Yeah, it makes no difference.
it's fine. My
Score-
score
none
is
of that
fine.
Earlier, fuck.
My score is
Yeah.
so I
completely
just
fine.
looked. All my scores on... yeah, all my scores for Skydiver or CloudGate were put on GTX 460, not 560.
I mean, it's the same amount of cores, isn't it? Just lower clocks. Like, they're 336 cores. Isn't there 460 as well?
Let me double check. I didn't think about that before.
I have a RX 560 that sometimes reports itself as an RX 460, so Benchmate gets confused, and I can't say that, but nothing I can do about it. Like the driver says it's a different card.
Okay, so yeah, they're literally the same. 336 cores,
Yeah.
56 TMUs, both 32 ROPs,
Yeah,
1
so
gig
like,
of memory.
it's just
The only
lower clocks
difference
on the
is-
460 then.
Well, then let me find the one where I'm running like over a gigahertz on my 460, and we can compare
Oh
those
man,
scores.
my poor 460 SE at 1 gigahertz with the E-Power. The VCore VRM didn't even last one run at 1.2 volts. Just blew up. Because those are 3-phase reference cards. It's not like they learned their lesson because all the 560 reference cards are 4-phase. The 460s are 3-phase, and they don't even have heatsinks on them.
Oh lord.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is the Skydiver.
Okay, so downclocking core by 10 makes CloudGate work.
That's why the 560 revision 1 from Gigabyte's a 3-phase.
Yeah, because
like,
it's just a 460 PCB.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so this Skydiver with my 460, it was running 900 megahertz clock, was a 9932 in Skydiver.
Okay, let me check CloudGate. Best score currently is 33k. I'm like, not that bad, actually.
Oh wait, you said CloudGate
Yeah,
or is it
CloudGate.
Skydiver? Okay.
Yeah, so this is doing 30,800 CloudGate. So I would be in 5th place right now.
You think you could push 4600 for Fire Strike with the single stage? Or maybe like just the air was colder.
If the so if me deleting the card gets rid of the weird rollover issue, probably. The score seems good, and the memory is too.
Alright, so this one that's a stock 460. So a stock GTX 460 gets 20,198.
That's kind of low. Well, I guess it's stock. That's like 700 megahertz or something, right?
Yeah, 768.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like...
So 975 core on a GTX 460 is a 23663.
Mm. Yeah, so like best score in CloudGate is like 2,200 points ahead of what I have currently. And that's a dice? Yeah, that's a dice run.
Yeah.
Is my efficiency that good? Oh no, that card's just... The memory on that card's actually worse than on mine right now.
The 23663 for me, that was on that was on my e-powered GTX 460. Where it was pushing like almost a gigahertz on the core.
Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm tired. I'll be in here tomorrow at some point benching something.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, me and ASIC are doing Sub-Zero tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Do you have a time in mind?
Whenever I get up. Or whenever you want to stream, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, getting up early today was kind of a mistake. My eyes are, like, really... I mean, by now it's okay.
I was up until, like, 4 a.m. today.
It was similar for me.
460.
For me, it is 4 a.m. right now.
So, like, yesterday, I was putting together, like, my plane and everything.
Which plane are you building?
An F-111. It's like...
Oh, nice. Yeah, you posted it in the Discord.
It's like the new CAD model is like mostly done, at least for the outside, and I'm building like a mock-up to like see if my printer can handle the size and shape and everything. Wow. And I have the fuselage now, and it's like 1.2 meters long. It's like pretty big. Anyway. Yeah, so CloudGate might actually not be too bad. Because I've got like... How much... Okay, let's do some dodgy napkin math. High score is 33k. And I'm at 30,800. So the high score is like 7% higher. And the high score is at 1250 core. I'm at 1090. Yeah, I'm beating the efficiency, because the top score is 15% higher clocked, but only 7% higher score. So if I can match that clock, I'm beating that score, probably.
What was that result?
The top score?
What was the score you just got on CloudGate?
30,800.
30,800? Okay.
Yeah, and the top score is 33k, pretty exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's like 7% higher score, but that person's running 1250 on the core, which is like 15% higher clock. And also their memory clock is worse than mine is right now, and they are on dries. Is it a Hynix or... Oh, it's a Hynix card. Yeah, that might explain it. The top score, Kefi.
Yeah. There's no strap. I don't think that card's strap modded or anything. I'm pretty sure it's just full mods. And
I mean, I'm not planning to strap mod mine either because I don't know how.
Yeah. I think he said that all of his DCU, because it should be a DCU2 he's running.
Probably, yeah. It says Asus.
All of his were Hynix, except one that was Samsung, but the core was garbage.
Yeah, he's running a Hynix, and I'm also seeing he's running 8 lanes only.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I just realized he's running 8x 1.1.
Oh, so he's on Windows 10.
his board, okay. So we were in here like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
benching on dry ice.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw the
can't
end of
remember anything.
that.
Yeah, but the fucking slot froze over at one point. You know, like, I think he tried to pull the card out. I think he tried to. I'm not sure if he did.
I have
He
a
also-
Z370 Gaming 5 in my drawer somewhere that would like to enter that discussion because I did the same thing to it.
Well, he also was, for a while, he was running his card wrapped in Captain tape.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
insulated.
This was a mess.
He just wrapped it in Captain tape.
Uh,
And I was like, that's a really bad idea because that's just going to hold moisture to it.
yeah.
Commander Soya would like to talk to you about holding moisture to boards and how well that goes.
I mean, so the
we
Captain tape
told
is
him-
gonna be great for like anything that drips onto the card, but like it's not gonna help against like air moisture like becoming liquid because of temperature. Yeah.
And then we told him last night to get a liquid electrical tape, and then we saw yesterday.
And then
at
I saw
3:30.
him covering the VRM
Yeah.
MOSFETs in it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I mean, that's like not like he's new to this, right?
yeah, he's new.
So he's
Yeah.
like
But
considering
you're-
he's new,
yeah.
he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was like, really thin layers, but you want like 2 to 3 layers. Because the thin layers are what actually like reduce the bubbling and holding the moisture to the card.
If you use a syringe to apply the liquid electrical tape, you get
That's-
basically no bubbles. And you can push
Exactly
it below
how
the
I do
VGAs as well.
Exactly why I do it.
I use these blunt needles and
I have
just
a-
10 mil syringes to just push it below the VGAs.
Yeah, I had a well, fuck. When I did my tachyon, I filed down the needle a little bit, just so like I had a little bit more clearance to get under the dim slot, basically.
Mm.
And it worked perfectly. And then the board sucks, so like I wasted a bunch of time on it.
I'm just seeing in the YouTube
See,
chat,
this is
FCR
why I
just
just
saying my
don't buy
dog is
Tachyons.
great.
Yeah, fucking dude.
That's
oh
me.
my-
Yeah, I know. Just your comment just came up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I have OBS, HW bot, and the stream on the same screen, so I just like switch between them every now and then.
Well, JJTV7 was like, cats are better than dogs because he said that when I was talking about my
yeah.
dog being able to freaking make. Actually, I'm not going to say that because you're streaming, but.
I said it on the stream already. It makes no difference.
Not the joke I was about to say.
Oh my god. Please, it cannot be as bad as the shit that went out earlier, bro. Forks had to get mod to be able to shut people up.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't around for that.
They kept adding me to that cursed group chat, and I was like, do not add me to this
Oh,
shit.
God.
I kept leaving.
But anyway,
Well,
No,
we'll
my
go
do-
to more
my
detail
dog,
off the stream.
my dog commits war crimes with his rear end.
Gas attacks, bro.
Actually,
But
what's
anyway,
the-
he when I was telling the story about Mac and Nat, he posted cats are better than dogs, so I
Yeah.
replied to that.
Okay, so I know GPUPy 3.2 is not comparable to 3.3. But assuming it is, I would be 1 second behind 5th place right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that's. I mean, I'm expecting like this core clock's probably gonna go quite high now. Like it's GPUPy, it should. Surprisingly though, if you look at the stream, that's currently
Yeah.
drawing more power than Firestrike is in GPUPy.
you have to give me a minute to see it because, like I said,
Yeah.
your stream is delayed by about a minute.
Yeah, I could see if I could just turn on the virtual camera webcam. If I start dropping frames, I'll turn it off again. But that should be like live. But yeah, like so it's drawing like 120 watts pretty consistently while doing GPUPy, while Firestrike is more like 115, kind of spiky. So yeah, I don't know why, but GPUPy on Fermi is extremely heavy. And I have no idea why, because like on everything else it's super light. But Fermi just like also the temperature, it's 46 degrees.
Fire up Firmark for shits and giggles. I want to see the power consumption.
Don't. The VRM is gonna blow up.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Well, actually, no. You have the good high sides, right?
I have the 7030s, yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
trust. I wouldn't trust Firmark on a Fermi card.
Yeah.
That's like
I never run for. I'm pretty sure I don't even have an installer for Firmark because I just don't.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Firmark and Fermi go about as good as like a addicted cigarette smoker in a firework warehouse.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do
Just a
something
bad
really
time.
stupid now. I'm just gonna do 1200 core and see what happens. Yeah, that happens.
Oh god. Did it just double? Wait, what?
It just instantly failed. Also, I need to like, what's my? I think those are like my typical GPU price. Oh.
I think your main screen is frozen on here. Like I can see your voltage readings.
Is it?
But all I can see is your CloudGate custom.
Yeah, that's
Ah.
Discord's side. I can see what's his.
Yeah,
screen
on
Discord's
I can see what's happening on Discord,
That's...
but on your YouTube, your main.
my YouTube, it's still moving on my preview.
Oh, there he goes. Now it's starting to move, but for a while it was just not moving.
So what did you top out in Firestrike? I just got that.
1100.
Not bad.
Yeah, like the main issue is it can probably do more. But I didn't delete the card because I was just like, I'm gonna Sub-Zero it anyway, and I don't want to deal with like thermal paste everywhere right now. And that is now come back to bite me in the ass because the card rolls over at 1.23 volts.
Before you go Sub-Zero tomorrow.
Afterwards, the dealer, that's gonna suck even more.
Before you go Sub-Zero tomorrow,
cold bug test?
you should get rid of the cold bug.
Yeah.
No, it will cold bug. I can guarantee both of my twin forces cold bug at like between -55 and -60, and you can get
That's
there with
really
your...
warm.
I
for
mean, the phase.
It's actually really not the silicon or really the memory that cold bug, it's the VRM or something that shuts off enable for the UP6213.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
I'm gonna be
you're gonna-
honest.
Wait,
With the temperatures we have in the city right here, the phase is not gonna get below -50. So it might be just fine.
Whenever you're now you can roll over your temp sensor. That's not an issue. You just got to know how to do it.
Therm spy? Does that help?
No, it's not the overtemp.
No,
when
so
did it roll over? I
what
think it rolled over
happened-
at -90.
So for me, I had my temperatures roll over at around -70. There's a picture somewhere on the JackNet server of my it was my 48 or my 560 Ti 448 reporting -256C.
Oh yeah.
And the way you have to do it is when you start going cold, you start maybe -10 is what you start setting your voltages. But when you start going cold, you need to be running like Heaven or something like that in the background while you're going cold to keep your card warm enough from cold bugging.
Yeah, the
And
card.
if you do that, if you're running Heaven or like a lighter load in the background where it's not super heavy but it's not light, you can actually go like I think my 560 Ti 448 was cold boot bugging or cold bugging out at like -90.
I think I remember something like that. Maybe it was the 260s where I was just like, oh, you just need to like set voltages before you go cold, and then it's fine.
No, 260s are really weird because 260s, if you go too cold, you start losing shader clock. But if you go too warm, you start losing core clock. So 260s have a sweet spot on temperature that you have to find to balance shader and core clock for the most performance.
Well, my face doesn't go cold enough for the shader regression to happen, at least on my 260s. So I just, yeah. No,
Yeah,
because there was a thing with them,
your
like,
phase
not
does
running
like
properly.
-60, right?
Yeah. It did. They did like what, 2 gigahertz shader and then like 900 something core.
Yeah, something like that. And it also, yeah, the 260s Tesla 2.0 is really weird about the shader clocks not being in sync 2-to-1
Yeah.
with core clocks, because you can get like within a small percentage, you can get more performance by skewing that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think my card is maxed now. Timing wise, I'm 5th place. I'm like 2 seconds away from beating Exaberries. But that's not happening because he's got 1180 core and I'm 40 megahertz behind. And I can't go higher voltage because of rollover. I mean,
I don't think I have a normal 560
time to get one.
card.
I mean, there's like, what, 30 days left in the comp? 35 days left. So you have time.
So you know this as much as I do. You know I'm a 460 guy. I have 460 cards for days.
Well, as we just established, 560s are just 460s are clock higher.
Yeah, but I don't know why, but I always found it more fun to try and get a 460 to do 1 gigahertz than a 560 to do more than a gigahertz, because yeah, sure, the 560 is more performance, even though they're the same thing. It's just
460s are kind of more fun to mess with on ambient.
Yeah, there's just a satisfaction to getting a flat 1000 on a 460.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 460s are like for ambient, because like they will scale a bit, because like I've had Fermi 1.0 Sub-Zero and it's just not interesting. Like,
nah,
doesn't even do 1200. There's like no scaling whatsoever. Like you would think it would have lots of cold scaling, but it just kind of doesn't.
Fermi is really good on everything up to water.
Yeah.
Anything beyond water is just kind of negligent.
Yeah, return. Like I've had a 480 that did like pretty good on ambient, and I've had it Sub-Zero and it did like less core clock than this 560 is doing right now at like -50. And I was just like, great. It's just, now I know why no one ever runs Fermi 1.0 Sub-Zero, because it just doesn't care.
Hold on. Actually, I have a
Yeah, I mean, like,
my experience is Fermi does go way more than -100 if you have the proper BIOSes. But because Soyo's running a non-modded BIOS, he's gonna top out. He's gonna top out his chiller before he hits that point anyway, so it's kind of a non-issue for him.
I'm just gonna put down the scores that we got today. So like it was a 3841, I think, and then Pi is a 1M 25.355 seconds. Can I?
Right.
Oh no, you can't make it bigger by zooming in Windows 7.
Okay, so hold on. I have a GTX 580 Lightning score on LN2 that me and Jai Chang did together. It was a really bad thing. It was just us messing around. It was a Fire Strike with a GTX 580. I placed 16th out of 140.
That's not bad. I'm just gonna put down where I would be right now.
So yeah. I placed 16th on LN2.
Yeah.
You're number 11.
Yeah.
And mine was with a 5950X also. So
I would be 5th place again. So like,
let's see.
decent results, I guess, for a card on water that rolls over.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually on those places. I didn't take screenshots, and I'm not actually subbing them because tomorrow it goes sub-zero. But like,
Don't jinx
looks-
it. Everyone made that mistake. I made that mistake with my 260 and the card died. Effie is a cold
well-
motherfucker who will not live.
well,
I don't know. I have,
have
some
enough
questions,
time
so,
to just get a
being able to
second
post
card.
some good stuff.
I have enough time to get a second card. Yeah. By the way, do we have any idea how to fight the cold bug if it happens?
I do. I actually.
Yeah.
What I just did is I shorted enable on the PEX rail and the UP6213 to 3.3 volts. I cut the traces though.
Okay.
Right. I insulated them completely, like cut the traces, and then just shorted them to 3.3 volts, and it worked just fine actually until it died.
Maybe that's why it
Until it
died.
blew up.
Yeah.
Well.
No, like I'm
No,
I'm
it's just an
hoping
enable.
that it won't happen to me because I've had my MSI 560 Ti, the weird 4-phase one, on the phase, and that one didn't cold bug. So I'm like, maybe my phase was like just a little bit warm enough that it doesn't happen, but like who knows? I didn't have this exact PCB cold.
I was
so-
at negative 55, between negative 55 and negative 60 on the pot.
Yeah.
Is where it just.
I
would
mean, my
not.
phase can do that on a good day, but since I'm now living in the city, I don't really ever have good days. Like, I'm gonna check my ambient right now. It's gonna be like 25 or above. It's pretty hot. Yeah, it's 27 degrees in here. Like, where I used to live, I would have like 17 degrees ambient. Like a whole 10 degrees colder. So that impacts the phase. So it doesn't really get below minus 50 in the city.
But then you might just be fine.
Yeah.
So you want to laugh a good bit?
What?
So that GTX 580, which was a MSI Lightning, me and Jai Chang got it to 1152 core on LN2.
You know what that is?
Sad.
That's 32 megahertz faster than my Lightning was on water.
Yeah.
Mine did 11 to 20 and then died.
Yeah. No, my Lightning still works, but it yeah, it definitely is not a super high achievement.
Yeah.
To be fair though, we also were just like, we had no idea what the hell we were doing with it on that cold. So
I also like
I think we were very conservative with the voltage.
I was not on my card. I ran like 1.5 volts into it on water. It drew like 500 watts.
I think we were running like
Jesus.
I think I was pushing like 1.35 volts.
Also,
on
wanna
LN2.
know what happened to the heatsink of that card after it died? It now lives on this 1080. I hot glued it on. Because like this Zotac 1080, like it came with the heatsink but without the shroud. So I was just like, well, I need fans, and this heatsink just kind of fit, so I just hot glued it on, and it like works really well. It doesn't even look wrong. Like the PCB is slightly too big for it, like it sticks out a little, but like.
No, it looks
That's
proper.
actually really nice.
Yeah, it's just hot glued
GTX
on.
1080 Lightning.
If you look at voice text,
Mm.
so yeah, you can see the setup for the 580 Lightning.
Oh yeah.
This was at the Gigabyte sponsored meet I hosted.
Got the PMD, yeah. Man, it's still nice. Like just how Elmo got like, hey, you need anything? I was just like, PMD's kind of nice, and he just sent me one. Because like that thing's
Wait,
actually useful. Like right now, the oscilloscope's actually connected to the CPU on this thing, which is why this board was set up. Because I wanted to do like scope shots of a CPU, and like do a video of like, hey, look, this is Cinebench, this is not heavy, and then hey, look, this is Prime 95. Now the CPU is screaming.
Elmore's really nice. Every time I've blown up something on LN2, he's been pretty good about replacing it.
Yeah, and it's so I can't really rely on the oscilloscope to like check the waveform of the card. It also doesn't have a hookup. So the PMD is like actually really useful for just like when it did the artifacting thing, where I was just like, hey, look, it's still drawing like 120 watts, so it's still running.
Yeah.
So it's like actually really useful. Also, just like this thing's drawing 120 watts at like way more than stock voltage. And way more than stock clocks.
That's not a lot.
Like, remember when 60 series cards were like sub 200 watt cards?
It's just seems awfully low. My 560 was pulling like 200 watts, 250 at like 1.1 volts in Fire Strike, so...
Yeah, I mean, there's probably, like, there's PCIe 2 that I can't measure with the PMD. I would need, like, that Razor card thing.
Idle the 60.
Yeah, I was about to say, he released a Razor card for it.
Yeah. I mean, you can see right now it just reads 2 watts of power consumption, and I can guarantee you it's drawing more than 2 watts. So there's, like... So at least one phase of V-cores on the PCIe.
I think my most fun thing with the Elmore stuff is, if you look closely at my EDFC I'm about to post on Discord, I somehow... So I bought these Chinese, or these 120 millimeter fans from China, right? And let me grab one to read it. So it says it's a 12 volt, 2.3 amp fan.
That's kind of a lot. 2.3 amps.
No. It gets worse. So I got curious and I hooked them up to a PMD through an EFC. No, these things pull 3.5 amps each.
Oh god. Fuck. That's like what, 45 watts or something like that?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's 42 watts.
So they I mean, it was the greatest $12 I ever spent on 3 fans. But these fans legitimately scare me, and I can only run them on an EFC. And we didn't know it, but what prompted me to measure it was I had 3 of them hooked up to an EFC, and I smoked the controller on it.
Oh boy.
Oh wow.
Because
I mean,
it was
3 of them, that's like
amps.
Yeah, more than 10 amps. It's like actually like getting close to maxing out like a couple connectors.
No. The EFC card is only rated for 10.
Yeah.
I was surpassing the limits of the PCB.
Because I'm also thinking like
Elmore.
Like on a 6-pin, you have 12 amps per pin pair. So like you're almost maxed out like a 1 pin pair of a 6-pin with just fans.
Oh
yeah.
God.
I mean, that's
fans.
and then there's also like the the plane that I'm building, the fans that are going into that. There's 64 millimeter electric ducted fans, and the data sheet for them says you need a 60 amp ESC for each of them because they draw that much. So
I believe it.
Like I have one of them already in a different plane that I'm gonna fly this weekend hopefully, and it legitimately sounds like an actual jet engine because they actually have a decent fan. Like usually EDFs are just like really cheap and shitty, and they mostly just make a lot of noise. But the ones that I got have like actually good fan blades, so it doesn't really make noise. It's just the wind sound from it. Like you can see it in like the aviation thing on the JackNet server, and like that was on 12 volts. I'm gonna be running them on 22 volts in the big one, and I have 2 of them. So that'll be like 120 amps out of the battery. I need to check if it can actually do that.
I posted on voice text. If you look at the 3, they're the
oh god, they're like
LDOs.
So
they're what?
The connectors are like.
Oh no, that the crookedness is fine. No, if you look at the 3 LDOs to the left of the connectors, you'll notice that I had to short all of them to bypass. So now when you just plug in the 6-pin, it just provides 12 volts straight to the fan headers. There is no fan control anymore. If you press the adjust button, it catches fire on the controller. It's really fun. I mean, it still works. It just like
it has an integrated abort button.
Yeah. So you press adjust, and it just has a built-in orange LED on the controller.
I mean, it's a light-emitting diode. It's not even wrong.
And so, yeah, that's a thing. It works. It just don't press the button; it catches fire.
Yeah.
But Elmore told me how to bypass that because I was like, it still does things.
Yeah.
It just.
I mean, the way how the fans on my test bench work is also just like really cursed. I just have a couple of those SATA to just fan adapters, and then because I'm using the Arctic fans, they're all daisy chainable. So like most of them are just plugged into one SATA connector, and I'm just like, they draw like 0.1 amps each. It's probably fine. And then I have a couple Corsair fans where I have like some cheap Fantex fan hub that they're plugged into, and that's how all the fans turn without actually needing to be hooked up to a motherboard.
Yeah.
Also, like the fan thing that you can see right here. So this motherboard, being like cheap and shitty, like literally the cheapest Z68 board I could find. That was, I think, I just needed a board that runs 1156 CPUs. Or 55, I always forget which one it is. So this thing only has one fan connector that's actually adjustable in BIOS as to how fast you want it turning. And because I wanted both of these fans maxed out for like cooling the memory in VRM, I had to use like one of these Y splitters, because all the other fan connectors just run the default curve all the time.
Wait, is that, what brand is that?
Like,
say Gigabyte?
It's a Gigabyte board, yeah. It has like the really old legacy BIOS on it, like it's not even UEFI. It's just the old yellow blue.
If it's an Asus one, if it was an Asus one, I was gonna say that there's an option on some Asus boards that just force 100% fan.
Yeah, it doesn't have that. Yeah, no, the only fan that I can actually change the curve on is the CPU fan, which is the one down here, and it just has.
Have you thought about just cutting the trace on the other fan headers and just jumping over the PWM signal?
Maybe. So far, this just works.
Is it
fair?
Voltage controlled or PWM controlled?
I mean, both, I guess. Are they all 4 pins?
That's kind of an old board, right?
It's a really old board, yeah. Like I said, it doesn't have UEFI. This thing has a legacy BIOS, and that's it.
Oh, there it is. I had to find my.
It has 3 4-pin fans and 1 3-pin fan. So yeah, but only one of the 4-pin fans is actually adjustable. Like I think they have like some weird software where you can adjust the fans in OS, but like it's in OS software, so I'm not gonna use it. Just I just get a serious eye twitch whenever someone mentions Ryzen Master and stuff like that.
Oh, here, I can post that picture of the controller. The the light emitting diode part of the controller.
Yeah, that's a good hole burned into it. I have an old.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Actually, yeah, like at my parents' place, there's some old MSI board for like the old AMD Athlons, the ones that didn't have an IHS, just bare die.
Yeah.
And that was gonna be like my first PC. Like when I was, I don't know, like 8 years old or something. My dad was just like, "Let's build a computer for you," and he just went to the attic, did old stuff. Like this used to be his old PC, and he put it together.
Yeah.
He found a CPU for it and everything, and then he he turned it on, and some little 8-pin I see on the motherboard immediately caught fire. I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere near the VRM. And then I was just like, that's bad, right? And he was just like, let's see what happens if we turn it on again. So I turned it on again, and the power supply exploded.
Sounds about right.
And that was the end of that CPU, because after checking, it had a chunk of the die missing.
Yeah. No, that's actually the retro PC I've been working on. Is actually it's a recreation of the PC. Like the chassis and everything is the exact same chassis that I used to have when I was growing up. Like when I was like 5, and my mom had a PC that I could game on. So it's the exact same chassis and CPU. The only difference is that I've put in, instead of having a generic AGP card, I've put in 2 Voodoo 2s and SLI with a S3 Savage 4 AGP card, so that I could do a lot of, like, I could do any 90s or 1990, like any 90s game on PC, I can run on this.
Man, it's kind of like, the stream's been going for like 1.5 hours now, and we're just kind of done. I was expecting to be here for like at least 2 hours, maybe 3, because I was just like, nah, I'm gonna go all the way to like 1.45 volts on the core, and then it rolls over at 1.23. And now we're just done already.
You could just try it anyways.
I mean, I tried higher voltages, it just crashes sooner, so it is rolling over.
Try running, let me pull it up real quick. Gotta think of the test. It's the Ice Storm. Try Ice Storm. I just want to see if the really light load causes a high transient spike, since it runs at like 1,000 FPS.
Okay, let's see. It's gonna bring it back to Firestrike stable clocks. Actually, I don't know. Do I do 1100?
No.
Because that works in Firestrike, but CloudGate needed 1090.
I mean, it's more fun to start higher and just see if we can.
Yeah, I guess. Why does it always turn off? Ice Storm.
Oh, did you know that there's a utility to overclock PlayStation Vitas now, as long as it's hacked? You can overclock it to 500. Yeah, you can overclock them to 500 megahertz.
What do they even
cool.
run on?
It's a quad-core ARM CPU.
Okay. ARM existed back then. I didn't think. Well, I guess yeah, because smartphones are like kind of old now.
Yeah.
I remember when I was like in school and it was like a new thing.
Yeah, so the PSP was a single core ARM CPU. And then the PS Vita was a quad core ARM CPU. And they ran stock at 333 megahertz, but you can overclock them to 500 megahertz. And so nowadays that they have homebrew,
that's a pretty decent increase.
Yeah. So what it was Sony had a thing where every game was forced to run at 333 megahertz, but later on in the PS Vita's life cycle, some games were like, performance just isn't good enough at 333 megahertz. So PlayStation actually released some some code that would up the CPU's frequency to 444 megahertz. And the moment people found out that there was code that could increase the frequency of the ARM CPU, you could hack your Vita and install some homebrew on it that allows you to go up to 500 megahertz, because there was apparently one Sony application that also could set it to 500 megahertz. And so all they did was they ripped all the codes from official Sony things that changed the clock speeds and compiled them into one place that allows you to override the clock speeds on any application.
That's pretty sick.
And so, like, I have been playing Borderlands 2 on a PS Vita lately.
Mm.
And
Okay,
it
so let's see
works pretty good.
if Ice Storm works this time. It just completed test 1 and then just stopped. Just didn't want to launch test 2. Just a 3D Mark UI moment.
But can you only set it to 500 megahertz or something higher as well? Or is that just...
FC, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
He was asking you something.
Oh, I totally was blanked out. I was changing, I was restarting YouTube because your YouTube stream had lagged to like 5+ minutes
Oh damn!
behind
that's,
where we were talking.
Not great. I mean, I guess
So
if you're just regular viewing it, then it's not a big of a problem. But like, if you're live with it, yeah. I hope it's gonna work better tomorrow when we do Sub-Zero, because that's actually interesting.
Yeah, I just restarted the browser and now it's actually like showing the Ice Strike runs.
Mm.
But anyway, what was the question?
if you can set it to something higher than 500 megahertz. Or is it locked?
Currently, no. It's locked
okay.
to 500. I don't know if that's like a hardware limitation or if that's just a software limitation.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, also you got to think it's a PS Vita. It's not like it has cooling or anything.
Yeah, I was
So
just
to
thinking,
be able to overclock it at all with, you know, just an exposed thing, that's pretty good.
Oh, right. It doesn't have a heatsink, right?
No, it's just like a Nintendo DS. Like, it's just the chip. Okay, so we got a 264,000 points. I have no idea if that's good, but we have like way more than 1,000 FPS in both tests.
Let me compare it to mine real quick. You said, let me pull up Ice Storm. You said 264,000?
Yep. GPU score though, not total.
GPU score. Okay. I was about to be like, holy crap, you're beating my 2080 Ti. Actually, you are almost exactly 50% to my 2080 Ti though. My 2080 Ti with my 9900K is 245,000.
So that's like how CPU bottleneck this benchmark is. Not bad for 2500K.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up. I got a bunch of GTX 260s. My GTX 260... No, that can't be right. Hold on. What's your graphics score? 264,000?
Yep.
Okay. This GTX 260 is 145,000. And a physics score of 74,930 to give it a total score of 120 166.
Well, I have a physics of 37,000.
Yeah, no, the physics is definitely being abused on this one. Holy cow.
Now I remember when some super old Cheapaz that I only learned of through like an old Bullseye stream, when they did GT730s. Ice Storm was one of the benchmarks, and like, it was just not working because it was so CPU heavy.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh well. Valid score, sure. Wait, does this thing actually run time spy? Oh no, it doesn't.
I mean,
not officially. You can, if you uninstall your drivers,
it
actually will.
Also,
do just the
do I
Microsoft
even have the key for time spy in this? I'm not sure if I activated the key for it.
If you run, if you run the Microsoft Basic Display Adapter drivers,
then it works.
You can run.
Is it just emulating DirectX 12 then?
Yeah. Let's see. My GTX 560 Ti scored 202 points on Time Spy Extreme. It got a 173 graphics score with a 5,643 CPU score.
Oh, it doesn't want to run.
Actually, no, that's a valid result. Hold on. Here, if you want, I'll drop it in voice text.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know how that's a valid score, but this is.
I mean, I guess you don't need to have an NVIDIA driver for it to be valid. You just need to have a driver.
No. It was running it. Hold on. Does it try 560?
You also did it at
I think
1.1 core.
No, I think it supports DX12, the most basic level.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It does. Even the 480 does. It just
So
doesn't want to run.
just-
It's just...
No, it should run TimeSpy just fine.
Well, it refuses to launch for me right now. I remember I ran my 480 in TimeSpy once. Like, I know it
I was about
works
to say,
somehow, but I'm not sure how to make it work now.
Do you need me to give you my TimeSpy key to make sure that it's not just your key locked out?
I have a TimeSpy key, it's fine.
Oh, hold up. I can't read that.
Yeah.
Your recommended
I could install Skydive and just see what it does there.
CPUs. I can't read it because you highlighted it.
Okay.
Oh, whatever. I can't read that.
Yeah, I'm gonna run Skydiver and then I don't really know. I mean, we're kind of done already with the what I planned for today since the card rolled over so quickly. So I guess just run Skydiver and see what it does.
Ooh, Skydiver. Let me pull that one up on mine. See if I can find a good comparison. Because apparently I have a 560 sock, but I don't know why I've never run it.
I have the weird. So I have a 460 Hawk and a 460 from Colorful that uses the 6-phase PCB, but actually is just a 4-phase. I never ran any of them, like seriously. I modded the Hawk a bit by adding those capacitors to the back of it, but that's about it.
If you want to compare to my 560 Ti, I can give you that, but it's not really a fair comparison.
Also, I've just realized, because my desktop audio is feeding into the stream, me getting Discord messages all the time is in the stream. So everyone who watches it will constantly be checking their Discord. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I was actually wondering why I was getting message notifications on my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, so with my GTX 560 Ti 448 and a 2500K, my 2500K was running at 5 gigahertz.
Damn, you have a good one. This one's really shit. This one doesn't even 4.7.
Really?
Yeah.
What voltage?
This one's 1. This one's max at 4.6 at like 1.45 to 1.5 volts. It's just...
Oh god.
Yeah, it's really bad.
I think I got... So 5 gigahertz was like TimeSpy stable on mine.
I couldn't
but
even
it was...
post 5 gigahertz on this one.
I was able to get up to 5.2 at like 1.525 volt.
Yeah, you got one of the good ones then. Yeah, no,
I think it was an engineering sample.
I need to get more. Jesus, it's drawing 150 watts and it also crashed. That just drew 150 watts. Why is that like 20 watts heavier than everything? Oh. Okay. I haven't seen this before. Yeah, if it's drawing like 20 watts more than all the other tests, I suppose we need to lower the core clock a bit because
yeah, try like
so much more power. Just
try like 1075.
Oh no, oh god. Save mode happened. Shut it down.
Let's see. So my GTX 560 Ti 448 on water. Let me pull it up. It was running 1050 megahertz with an average clock frequency of 1036 with an average temperature of 13 C. And it scored 19948 on graphics.
Okay, let's see if mine will complete a run. I'm surprised that it draws this much power. Like 150 watts, like 20 more watts than all the other tests.
Yeah.
Like how Skydive so heavy?
What RAM are you running?
On this thing right now?
Yeah.
Some Nanya C-die.
Oh, gross.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, it's literally
I've been
the kit where I'm just like, I know the stuff works, and that's it.
Yeah, I've been really spoiled when it comes to DDR3.
Yeah,
like
I have a DDR3 kit that can do 2600. But this board has a max multiplier of 2133, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, like my PSC does like 2133 CL9. And then my Samsung D-Die.
Did I just run Firestrike? I actually just ran Firestrike. Man, you can't beat the autopilot. You actually can't beat the autopilot.
To be fair, Firestrike is my favorite.
Yeah. Well, Firestrike's just by default as well, because like it's short, I know what the scores should be, and I know how to optimize for it.
Yeah. You're not optimized if you're not running LOD, though.
Yeah. Well, I disabled LOD because it's not allowed for CloudGate.
Hold up. Let me double check.
Let's see if it passes. This is probably still gonna crash because I just lowered by 10 megahertz. But let's see, maybe.
Let me pull up the rules for Skydiver.
I think Skydiver allows LOD.
It does not.
It does not? Huh.
No. Latest version in System 5.55 or newer, hardware monitoring must be enabled. NVIDIA 4090 cards must use ECC enabled. Verification required is a valid link and screenshot. LOD and tests not allowed. And you need CPU-Z for CPU and memory, GPU-Z, and the normal stuff. But yeah, it says it twice. LOD and tests not allowed.
Okay. I thought it's
graphics
just
driver
for the...
not approved is allowed.
I thought it's just for the newer tests that they added.
Yeah.
Like I think regular CloudGate allows it, but new CloudGate doesn't because it's GPU score only.
So no, this is just straight normal Skydiver. Apparently they changed the rule in 2021.
Okay. And did they delete the ranking or did they just keep it?
I don't know.
Because like the old scores are gonna have an advantage then.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, this CPU
This
test
is
is not very heavy. Only 100
This is
watts.
January 1st. January 1st, 2021. New rules release. No LOD and tests allowed.
Okay. Why are they cracking down on that though? Like, I don't really get why you would ban that, because it's just...
I think it's just for the verification links on that stuff, because the only reason why LOD and tests was ever allowed on like Firestrike and stuff is because there used to be a time where
it couldn't detect it.
Right. And so I think now, outside of like Firestrike, because everyone likes Firestrike, they just want to crack down on that so that they can have verification links to ensure people aren't cheating.
I mean, you can still have verification links that'll just say score invalid.
Well, yeah, you still need the verification links for like 3D Mark Firestrike, but it's still, I don't know. I think that it's easier for them to just check for a green check mark than to read and make sure that load and test weren't messed with.
I guess.
I think I'm gonna use the time to pop some random.
Apparently I just scored a new high score.
Nice.
I'm like 1,000 points better than the previous best. So this is the fastest 560 with a 2500K ever in Skydiver.
Nice. What was your score?
So graphics score is 12,975.
Yeah. Which against the 560 Ti 448 is really understandable.
Mhm.
Let me look up against my GTX 460s. Oh, I have a basic 560 Ti.
Okay.
That one scored 12,260 at, and that was 1050 core and 1050 mem.
Was that 12,260 overall or graphics?
Just graphics.
So this one's beating
Overall.
a TI.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that TI was stock then.
No, plus 100 core.
Huh.
Because it was running 1050 megahertz core.
Okay. Not too bad then. Maybe this test is a bit more memory clock heavy, because this one's doing pretty decent memory clocks.
Yeah, no, this one's running stock mem.
Hmm.
Let me look for some more. This is GTX 460. That's 9,273 at 900 megahertz.
Compare result online.
Actually, hold
And
up.
my
I found one
system
that's...
info is too old.
I found a GTX 460 at 10,328 GPU score at 975 core
Huh.
and 1,000 mem.
Why is my score so high? I guess it really likes memory then.
Yeah, looks like it.
Huh. Alright. I guess with that, it's really time to like close this off at some point though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the stream's like 2 hours now if we count the couple
100
streams that I stopped at the beginning.
102 minutes so far, plus the little bit that you did before you had to close and reopen the stream.
So I'm thinking like maybe a decent point to stop. So like the stuff that matches for the comp is this. So decent placement, like upper 50% on water.
Yep.
Sadly the card rolled over at pretty low voltage. I'm hoping a delete will fix that. If not, then oh god forbid it's another repeat of last Cheapaz. I don't want another card where the core is just like holding me back. Please no. Like I always have pretty good luck with memory clock, and this one again, and then it's just like a shit core. That's like pretty much every single Cheapaz I've had so far. I finally want a good core.
This is why I only participate in Country Cup.
Yeah.
That sounds like my 6850. I did 1300 mem ambient, but the core rolled over at a gigahertz.
Yeah, like my 6850, the core was just, there was nothing I could do to make a clock higher. Just more voltage, lower temps, more capacitor. It just didn't care. There was just.
So I got a question for y'all. Do y'all know of any way to clean the Gamers Nexus mats?
I don't have one.
I mean, just cleaning mouse mats in general.
It's not a mouse mat though.
What does it have on it?
The Gamers Mod mouse mat is made of a electrically conductive material, and so it's like a rubber.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be too happy on a washing machine.
I have no idea what you just said.
He said it's probably not gonna be too happy in a washing machine, which I agree with. Don't put mouse pads in washing machines.
No, I'm not putting this in a washing machine.
Yeah.
The problem is it's gonna. It definitely is like just straight up rubber.
Yeah, no, cause
And
like I had a friend who was once like, I'll just put it in the washing machine, it'll clean it, and I believed that guy, and then my mouse pad came out, just the top layer completely separated from the rubber at the bottom. Just yeah.
No, well, this isn't a mouse pad at all. It's a mod mat.
Yeah.
It's not actually a mousing surface. It's meant for when you're working on electronics and stuff. You can ground everything. So like mine is, it has a wire coming off to it that goes to the nearest electrical socket.
I don't really
it's actually grounded to my house.
know how to clean something effectively like that.
The problem is it's got like 2 or 3 years worth of thermal paste smeared into it now, and it looks like shit.
I mean, you could like. I mean, I suppose they use the rubber that's like not easily dissolvable, so you could maybe try something like ISO.
I've tried cleaning it with the ISO before, and it doesn't really do anything.
Well, then I have no idea.
Because I don't want to go too rough with the chemicals, because I don't want to like just end up with a generic rubber mat. This is a signed one from Steve.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, not sure then. Maybe ask them. Just be like, how do I do preventative maintenance?
I was gonna ask Steve at LTX, but then he didn't go to LTX. I was wanting to talk to Roman too. I was gonna get my picture and say hi to Roman and talk to him for a while. But then last minute, I was talking to Splave, and Splave's like, "Yeah, he didn't show." I was like, "Damn it!"
The elusive their power.
Right.
That was also just like when we had the wireless graphics card. I was just like, if you want it for an episode of Hardware Legends, just like I can give it to you. And he was like, I'll get back to you, and then he never did. Just vanished.
And he lives in the same city you do.
Yeah, it's just like I literally said, just like I can get onto a train and be there in an hour. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I find it funny, like, people like... I was right beside Jay, and he was weird. Like, he didn't... I talked to his daughter more than I talked to him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was...
Was he just thinking about, like, what stupid cooling solution to use next or something?
No, Jay was just like... Jay was just not a talkative person at LTX.
Okay.
He didn't even walk around the area as much. He like stayed exclusively in the creator area, like where all the YouTubers and stuff could be.
Huh.
He pretty much stayed outside of the public area for like a day.
Jay,
the only reason why I talked to his daughter is
yard sale thing.
What's that?
Well, I talked to Jay a little bit at his yard sale thing. Yeah, I got the same exact thing, dude. He's not a talker.
Yeah. And so
if he's not making money off of talking, then he's probably not going to be talking.
Yeah, he also like from just working with him at Signal RGB, because we sponsored him before.
Oh yeah.
He is a dick.
Really?
When it comes to the business side of things, he is not a pleasant person to work with.
Okay.
When it comes to business, as a person, he's just not talkative. He's very standoffish. His daughter's nice though. Like, she came up. We had her booth at LTX, and she hung out, was asking us questions and stuff. And then I didn't even realize it was his daughter until he walked up. He's like, "All right, you ready to go?" I was like, "Oh shit."
Okay. I didn't think you would be like that. I think you would just be like a guy that messes around. I guess he's not.
No, he's not really talkative. He's not, unless it's something he really wants to talk about, he's not talking.
Okay. Oh well.
But
I think I'm
yeah,
also
he
gonna kill the stream now, because like at this point we're just talking and nothing's happening on screen anymore.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, we have the final results on screen. Tomorrow, Sub-Zero. I guess I'm gonna delete the card later today and put some needed eraser on it so it doesn't do the 6850 thing when I take it cold. And probably also do a cold test run just to see if it cold bugs. Because if it does that on stream, that would be kinda bad.
Then
Yeah.
I'll have to send Soya some more cards for the FZR card collection.
Yeah. Yeah, so with that, I guess that's it for the stream. I really hope they would have scaled more, but I guess that's my fault for not deleting it, because it's the first time I run a Fermi that's not immediately deleted, and it's the first time I run into this issue, so... Anyway, see you tomorrow.